I call this the heart meditation. I think it's originally called the heart-brain coherence exercise or something along those lines, and it originates from the Heartmath Institute. I will go through the meditation at the end of the video. There's plenty of sources online that also do this meditation. And the reason I'm going to put it out there really is because I spent a lot of years really doing this meditation at the end of my sort of daily practices, when I don't do that so much anymore, I must admit, but when I was doing daily middle pillar, LBRP, all those sorts of things, I would include this heart meditation at the end, and I found it very potent. So you'll find it at the end of the video, but before I do that, I wanted to just say a little bit about the reason that it came back to mind really. I recently listened to someone who I've always had a great deal of respect for. They're very knowledgeable in their field, and I was quite horrified by something I heard. I'm not going to mention any names, obviously, but basically I think they really overstepped the mark, and I had great misgivings about what I was hearing. But that aside, part of what they were saying was to be bringing everyone in together, to send out joy and love into the world, which of course is a noble thing. I just had great misgivings about the context that this was being presented in, and this person was setting themselves up front and center in a very narcissistic way, and I just felt so uncomfortable, and I felt so yeah, just so disappointed and let down by someone I really had a great deal of respect for. So, in a rather roundabout way, I thought, well, all these things which this person is sort of setting themselves up as a figurehead for, in a quite a cult leaderish way, I felt we can do ourselves, and we should be doing ourselves. And the heart meditation is one way to do that, and to bring in peace and to bring in love, and also to then be able to send that out into the world as something very beautiful. The heart, of course, has always been one of the most important organs, but also one of the most important spiritual centers in our bodies and in our subtle bodies. And I think, looking at the tree of life, the heart is Tifareth, and that is at the center of the tree, of the diagram. And I think it's quite interesting that the dark side, and there's always a dark side, even to the lightest of things, the dark side to the heart is described as pride. And that's what I saw coming through in not a very healthy way. The ancient Egyptians considered the heart to be the seat of the soul. I'm never going to be political ever on this channel, and this is probably as close as I will get, but I think most of us want to be part of the love rather than part of all the awful things that are going on. We want to have some impact in some way, and I really think that this is a way to achieve that, to bring peace into our own lives and to send that peace, love and joy out into the world. So you begin in the usual way of becoming relaxed and obviously taking time out, being alone, making sure you're undisturbed, and get into a nice comfortable position, and then concentrate, focus on the heart area. And a good way to help to do this is to put your hands over your heart area and get in touch with that center. And then begin to breathe through the heart. So breathing into the heart and gently breathing out of the heart. And just do that for a few moments, as long as it feels comfortable. And then as you're doing that, as you've got into a little bit of a rhythm of doing that, bring to mind a situation perhaps, or a person, or anything that just evokes those feelings of joy, of contentment, of gratitude, of love. You could think about a loved one, or a pet, or a time that filled you with that joy and love and all of those good things. And just spend some time experiencing that. It doesn't have to be a great deal of time, and obviously it's good if you can do this on a daily basis, so make it part of your spiritual practice daily or weekly. There's no pressure. Even just doing it once is going to make a difference. So it's a great thing to do, and it really doesn't take long. So spend some time getting that feeling in your heart, and this is where I found it most potent, really, getting that feeling in my heart center. And it would often evoke if real emotions in me, often brought tears actually. So it's quite potent, and it's a lovely thing to do. And of course it has all sorts of benefits for our nervous system and all sorts of systems, immune system, all kinds of things. Has a great deal of benefit for us. But I think the lovely thing at the end, as you draw to a close and you're experiencing those feelings of love, gratitude, compassion, whatever it is you're focusing on, is to then imagine all that lovely energy being pushed out into the world. And you can imagine this in, whatever way is easiest for you. You might imagine it as a colour, or just use your intention for this to go out into the world, and you can see it or visualize it or imagine it rippling out. And that's a lovely way to finish, and it's a lovely thing to do for all of us. Blessings to you all.